If everything you knew about mass shootings came from Mother Jones or Newsweek or dozens and dozens of other very popular, very widely circulated members of the mass media, you would know that mass shootings are a white thing. The white people are always taking guns that they shouldn't have in the first place and going around shooting people all the time for no reason whatsoever. That, of course, is a lie. It's one of the hundreds and hundreds of little lies supporting the greatest lie of our generation, the hoax of black victimization, the myth that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. The New York Times figured it out last year, to lots of consternation inside the New York Times, because they didn't like busting up this myth any more than anybody, but they did. Here's the story that said 70 to 80% of mass shooters in this country are the fellas. Why don't we take a look at a few recent examples? Filled up my email box today, courtesy of some of our more diligent viewers. Why don't we start in Richmond, Virginia? Some of the fellas hitting the local clubs for a little party.
Following breaking news this morning out of Richmond.
One man is dead after a double shooting that happened overnight. It happened right here on Hull Street Road, right before it turns into Midlothian Turnpike, getting into the city. That's where we found our 8 News reporter Talia Cunningham live at that scene. Talia, what can you tell us this morning?
Well, Katie and Morgan, good morning. This investigation just getting underway. Details are limited right now, but we do know that the shooting happened here at the Candy Bar. It's a gentleman's club, if you're not familiar with it. And Richmond police just wrapped up and left the scene, towing away a car, and crime scene units left with bags of evidence. Take a look at this video that we shot a little bit earlier so you can see the active crime scene. Now, Richmond police say that they got the call of shots fired at this Candy Bar after 1 a.m. Now, the Candy Bar is located in a small shopping center called Circle Plaza. Now, when police arrived, they found 2 victims suffering from gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital, and we have learned that one person did die from their injuries. Another did suffer non-life-threatening injuries. And I talked with Richmond police, and they do tell me that, there are 2 adult males that actually were involved in this double shooting. They're still working to find out more information. We don't know the identity of the suspects or a possible motive behind the shooting. We're going to stay here and keep working to find out more information for you.
Bullets fly at a North Texas gentleman's club, and the results are deadly. What police are saying about the suspect who was arrested a short time ago. Good morning, I'm Dan Haggerty. Russ McCaskey has the day off.
I'm Karen Borda. That double shooting happened at Temptations Cabaret on Camp Bowie West Boulevard in Aledo. And that's where we find Brittany Jeffers live this morning with the new information. Brittany.
Yeah, I've been checking in with the Tarrant County Sheriff's deputies. They tell me 24-year-old Trayvon Wilson was arrested this morning on capital murder charges. We're also learning some more about what led up to that shooting. Now, officials say that Wilson is the boyfriend of one of the dancers at Temptations Cabaret. And deputies tell me that there was some type of an altercation between Wilson and the manager, and at some point a gun was pulled. Deputies say that Wilson is accused of shooting the manager and a security guard inside the facility before taking off. And the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office took the lead on this investigation with some assistance from Fort Worth Police Department. Now, law enforcement spent the early morning hours looking over surveillance footage. I'm also told they took several witness statements. However, at this time, they have still not released the names of the victims. They say this is an ongoing investigation. So
I was devastated.
Metro Councilwoman Jessica Green says she woke up to a message that 6 people had been shot at Cole's Place on West Kentucky Street. The nightclub is in the district she represents.
My heart dropped. I was devastated. I was hurt because this has become an all too familiar story that we are hearing about that goes on in our community.
Green says she spoke with the club's owner about Saturday's early morning shooting. She was told 6 off-duty LMPD officers and a private security company were hired to keep patrons safe.
Clearly what we see is that what is in place right now is not working.
In 2015, 6 people, including a pregnant woman, were shot at the nightclub. Metro Council President David James says police are familiar with the location.
We've had over 150 police incidents being called to that location over the last couple of years, and that's a lot.
In addition to being a club, the owner also opens his doors to community meetings and gatherings.
And that is so important for a community to be able to have. But at the same time, it should not be a place where the community comes and gets injured either.
That was an individual decision to do what he did, and I hated that it happened at that venue.
Adolph Tompkins is the chairman of Man Up, a community group focused on encouraging men to be leaders in their community. He's held meetings at Cole's Place and says the weekend shooting is not a representation of the club's goals.
He provides a place where people can come and talk, socialize, and when you have somebody that does that and then you have a particular individual who decides to take advantage of that, it just hurts all around. I mean, the whole neighborhood is hurting about that situation.
A community meeting is planned for 6 o'clock tomorrow night at Cole's Place to talk about what happened. The chairman of Man Up says the community will also talk about the violence problem and ways to solve it.
3 siblings were shot, 2 of them killed in Rankin County. 16 WAPT's Jennifer Lott joins us live just outside of Richland with the details. Good morning, Jennifer.
Allie, we're on the 400 block of Ebenezer Road, and this house behind me appears to have caution tape wrapped around the porch. But because there isn't a clear address posted here, we don't know for sure that this is the house where the shooting happened. But what we do know for sure is that there were 3 people shot in a house on this road last night. The sheriff's department says 2 brothers and their sister were playing Uno with a neighbor. Investigators say the neighbor got mad and shot the teens with a rifle. The girl died on the scene and 1 brother died at the hospital. Authorities say the brother who survived is expected to recover. Multiple law enforcement agencies were called out here, including a special response team. They forced their way into the house and arrested 23-year-old Farino Harris.
It's a tragedy, especially here in Rankin County, where we have very few violent crimes like this. All these the victims knew the suspect. We don't know what set this off or what caused it.
Deputies say Harris is in custody and is expected to see a judge this morning. District Attorney Guest is expected to hold a press conference this morning at 10 to address this shooting as well. Live in Richland, Jennifer Lott, 16 WAPT News.
Anybody who's read White Girl Bleed a Lot or Don't Make the Black Kids Angry knows we've done a lot of stories down at the University of South Carolina, the entertainment district near there called 5 Points in Columbia. Well, they had a mass shooting there the other night. 3 people shot. I don't know if it was 3 or 4, at least 3 people were shot. Here's a little bit of video from it where we see the fellas very unhappy that one of their fellas was shot. Turns out this is the second time it's happened in the last few months, except last time I think there were 8 people shot.
Come on, man. They just sitting there holding, man. Hey, kid, we right here with you. Look at us. We right here with you. You good?
Guys, we have 2 people that have been shot in 5 Points.
Right here, bro.
I'm so sorry to report this. I really am. It's at St. Pat's. It's a festival. It's something we should be celebrating. Putting this on social media. There's 2 individuals that are wounded. One of them, non-life-threatening injuries. The other one, I don't know the status of. I'm going to check on it right now.
Put your camera off. You got to go.
This morning, a shooting at a South Suburban strip club leaves several people wounded.
This happened in Harvey, where the mayor has ordered the club to be shut down. Eyewitness News reporter Diane Pathieu joins us live from Harvey with more. Diane?
It's just a temporary suspension here in Harvey. I'm told by the spokesperson for the police department here in Harvey that this club has never had problems before, nothing major anyway. But this morning there was a shooting. You can actually see still a lot of police activity happening outside of the Box Gentlemen's Club. 4 men were shot. 3 of them are in serious condition. 1 of them is in stable condition at some local hospitals. Here's what we're told happened. At around 3:49, someone came in from another town. There was a fight in another town at another club that escalated here at the Box. That man, accompanied by a woman, walked into this club with a gun, somehow got through security, and then shot these 4 men. They were targeted men. This was a targeted argument, apparently, escalated here at the Box Gentlemen's Club. Shot those 4 people. They were all transported to the hospital. That shooter remains on the loose, but police say they do know who they're looking for. They got a chance to review some security footage. They watched it all unfold, and again, they know who they're looking for. This establishment has been here, I'm told, for about 20 years with no serious issues. So this is obviously a big black eye over the reputation of this gentleman's club. So the big question this morning is, where is that shooter? Police are trying to locate that shooter, and how did a gun get past security? And
every cop in America was laughing at that last article where it said, where the lady said, well, we asked, and they said they never had any trouble at this strip club before in 20 years. 20 years. Wow. Okay. Hey, why don't we go down to South Bend? I mean, here's a little story in South Bend. 6 people got shot. It didn't seem to be that big of a deal, did it? Easy to see why. Talking about the fellas being responsible for an overwhelming majority of the mass shootings in this country. Talking about it plainly, without racism, without rancor, without apologies, exposing the greatest lie of our generation, the hoax of black victimization. Well, I can tell you, that pretty much makes the black kids angry.